Another big story today playing out in the governor's race in New York. News that could be good news for the Westchester County Executive, Republican Rob Astorino, who many suspect will be the most likely challenger to the aforementioned Andrew Cuomo, or could make his path to Albany that much rockier. New York Post saying that the head of the Conservative Party, he wants Astorino in the race. They quote Michael Long, who, trust me, if you don't know his name, has a lot of sway when it comes to Republicans who want statewide office. Long said the following, quote, "I'm ready to move out in front for him," being Astorino, "as soon as he announces. I believe Rob is going to be the Republican candidate, and I believe he's the right candidate for the race." He also went on to say, "I believe that once he announces, many of my Conservative Party leaders will rally around him." Okay, sounds good, but two potential problems with that. Number one, Donald Trump, who continues to make noise about entering the race. Can't make this up, though few expect him actually to do so, but he will run his mouth in the meantime. And number two, Carl Palladino, Andrew's favorite, the governor of the GOP's 2010 nominee. Trust me, they'd like to forget that, but yes, it's true. And he says Astorino isn't conservative enough for his taste, and he's threatened to challenge Astorino in a primary fight on the conservative line here if it comes down. Listen, I've been saying nationally, we talked about this, Jeannie, that the Republicans seem to be getting it. They seem to be trying to get out of their own way and worry about winning instead of these purity fights. Mike Long, you could argue, he seems to be getting the memo on that. But do you think everybody else does? Or do you think at the end of the day, Astorino will have a primary?
I think they're going to. I don't see Donald Trump getting into this, and I don't see Carl Palladino fighting it if Astorino decides to get in. And I'm somebody who said early on that I didn't think Astorino would get in. All signs look like he is going to. And two issues in the last few days make it more likely that he could put up a fight against Cuomo. It's a long shot given the money and the polls and but the two issues are the Board of Regents today talking about the Common Core puts the governor in a very precarious position. He supported the Common Core. It's very unpopular. There were students, parents, teachers, and Rob Astorino has come out and challenged the governor on that. And then this issue we were just talking about in terms of taxes. If Democrats raise taxes, whether New York City or New York State, he has an issue that he could run on, and he's run successfully on this issue of taxes. So, those two issues alone give Rob Astorino a lot more cachet than I would have thought a month or so ago.
We asked this, we try to pin Jessica Proud down on this one.
Jessica's a good woman.
Yes, she is. Is he a moderate or is he a conservative? Astorino, if he runs statewide, which one is he, even in the primary?
I mean, I think he's a conservative. I don't think he's a far-right conservative, but he's a fiscally conservative. He's moderate on a few social issues, but he's also conservative on some. So he's clearly a conservative. But he is a very, you know him, he is a very low-key guy. He's very young. He's very energetic. And he has
he's charming. He's
charming, and he knows what he wants to do, and he does it once he's in office, and that can be attractive. We saw in Westchester it was attractive to Democrats and moderates against a very good, very well-known Democratic mayor.
The Conservative Party chief in New York. Many people may not know his name, but we both dealt with him. We both know the sway he controls to get people to get in line. He wouldn't have said this, right, unless he made sure the decks were pretty clear.
Mike Long is one of the most powerful people in the state. You get in his way at your own peril. For him to say that comment, he's clearing the way for Mr. Astorino. Astorino doesn't have to worry about the Conservative Party. He doesn't have to worry about Nut Palladino and all his money. He has to worry about Andrew Cuomo. Astorino can be the governor one day, but this is not his time. He will be squashed if he runs against Andrew Cuomo.
I just hope for his sake that Astorino's people have something worked out with Carl Palladino, because while I agree with the Donald Trump aspect and I agree with much of what you guys are saying, if Palladino wants to be a fly in the ointment here, he certainly can be. He doesn't need Michael Long's help to do it. He just needs his money and anger from the right, from the Tea Party right, that says Astorino's too moderate. And I think there is going to be a vein of that among Tea Party Republicans in the state of New York.
There's going to be a challenge that we forget here, because Astorino won double digits in Westchester, which is a blue district. But he made the point, and guys like me and us and others agreed with him, it didn't matter his social policy, because the county executive has nothing to do with abortion but it does if you want to be governor. And that stuff, he's going to have to either disavow prior positions, or he's going to have to find a way to, with the triple Lutz here, figure out to convince people that, I'm conservative on social issues, but yet that jives with New York.
But that's what every Republican does. That's what Mitt Romney did in the last presidential campaign. It'll be a move to the right for the Republican primary, if there is one. It'll be a move back to the center for the general.
The way that Astorino cherry-picked African-American leaders, That ain't going to happen against an Andrew Cuomo. He's going to get them first.
I guess he's just hoping Cuomo gets in some kind of a headache like Christie is at the same time later this year. All right, we're going to be right back to wrap things up. Please stay with us.